Hi, Amari. I hope you're well, or Omri. I'm never sure actually how exactly to pronounce your name, so apologies. So I did my Behance portfolio. However, it did get passed through the first time. However, Mona did say that she wanted it to have more images, and I obviously just don't have the time to recreate all of the images and stuff like that, so I've kind of left it how it was. I think actually the content was fine, she just wanted it to be more graphic, I guess. So I'm just going to show you what I have put together so that we can discuss this tomorrow. Right, so welcome to my portfolio. So obviously I have the design thinking as you saw the other day. I put in the swap profile for Flow, but I guess Mona wanted me to probably put in the second one as well, because I see that quite a lot of these profiles have got quite a lot of pictures, you know, 2 or 3 user profiles, user personas, 2 user journeys, 2 swap profiles, and I put just the one. I think I've now added the second one earlier. I can't remember if I'd taken it back. Yeah, I did. I put in the second one. So then I also have this just showing you the images for some reason. Yeah, it's just showing the images instead of actually showing you everything. So let's work out why it's only showing the images and not the, here we go. So let's do a little rewind. So here you see I have put in the brief and what my role was, the approach, and what my learnings were, and also the contents as we discussed. So I've put all of this in here and added some photos or pictures or evidence of the work that I'd done, the valuable insights, you know, what I had gathered from each of these different points of focus. But yeah, Mona just wants it to be more visual than text. So I will have to redo that, you know, after the course is finished, because I'm overtired, overstressed, and yeah. So I would just, this video is just because I have to do it, but I want to speak to you more in depth about that tomorrow. And then I will just, you know, go back and redo some of the work to add in and slot them into the profile. So yeah, now I will answer, and also I'll send you the Behance link. Now I will answer the questions. So, have you given feedback on someone else's design before? Obviously I have, because that's part of the course. I did the peer review. Actually, I've done a few peer reviews on the course. So it's been a mixture of positive and constructive positive feedback and constructive criticism, the same way that it has been given to me, and I guess that's what happens in life. I mean, I think everybody's always getting feedback to some degree several times a day. And I guess you take on board the feedback that's given, and you assess whether it's the feedback that you need to action or something that you keep and think on. But, you know, it's always a good idea to listen, especially in a work environment, to somebody who is senior to you, who has a lot more experience than you have, to listen to what they have to say and actually think about what they've had to say, rather than just dismiss it because you didn't like it. So whatever feedback comes to me, I'm generally in the work environment happy to hear it and take it on board and thank the person for their feedback. And If it's something that I feel is feedback that was unnecessary or that I'm not going to action, I will still just thank the person for their feedback. Um, and if it's something that I am not going to action in that moment, I will give like just a simple reason as to why. I'd say, okay, thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate it. Or it would be, thank you for that feedback. Why have you suggested that I do X, Y, and Z? Because it may be something that needed to be explained a little bit deeper towards me understanding what it is that needed to be done with regards to that feedback. How would your teammates describe you as someone to work with? I've always had quite a good reputation at work, quite easygoing and chilled at work. And although I've struggled a bit with this course with my health and being able to stay focused, generally I do work really quite hard because it's, you know, you get what you put into things. So yeah, usually quite fun and chill to be around, hardworking and eager to learn would usually be what my colleagues would say about me. To tell you about a difficult project, I mean, like I've been in the world of work for what, 17 years, I think it is now. So there's been many difficult projects. And generally when you have a difficult project, you have to think to yourself, this will end at some point. And then it really, things do go wrong. At this moment in time, I just can't even think of a really difficult project where something went really, really, really wrong. I would say there was a time actually when I worked for Volvo Car Relations, where it was coming up to Christmas and a big dealership had got into receivership, and this was at the beginning of my working career. And one of the truck drivers had found out on his way to deliver a load of cars, like brand new cars, and he just stopped the loader on a bridge, chucked all the keys into the river or whatever it was at the ford, and just left. So basically, we had these people ringing up, going mental, ringing the customer care line. I shouldn't say going mental, I wouldn't say that in an interview, but very upset people ringing the customer care line. And, they spent this money where their cars, some of them had been ordered for Christmas. And it was really kind of a PR nightmare. So really that was, even though it wasn't a personal project, it was actually something I ended up having to work on. And that was really about calming down customers, explaining that yes, something had happened, which was beyond our control, and it was something that impacted the customers quite deeply. But it was really about empathizing and listening and apologizing, and not over promising, not saying to somebody just to get them off of your back, listen, there will be a car that will turn up next week or in a couple of days. It was really about listening, understanding and sympathizing. And that's generally what you have to do when things go wrong. Whilst you're doing that and calming down the person or calming yourself down to reassess the situation, you can then logically look at the next steps and then speak to the other people in different departments or a senior team member and discuss exactly what is going wrong and find a solution in a calm manner. And that's generally what it's about. When things are starting to go wrong, it's about not panicking, it's about slowing down and communicating openly with your clients, your manager or your colleagues. Come up with your own questions you could ask an interviewer, for instance. So I would ask about the type of mentorship within a company. So I would be starting as a junior. So as a junior, how would I expect to be trained up? Is it a case of me just really looking for ways to grow my knowledge, or is it about the team really taking into consideration that they have junior members within the team and they are also going to support the further education of that member, or are they really kind of just giving tasks that need to be done and it's for me to just build upon those tasks and ask questions as and when I need to? I would also ask what they would like to see from me within a 6-month to year period. So, how they would be benching and marking my progress within the role and within the company. What sort of KPIs would there be in place? I would also ask about whether they support further training for their team members. Because UI is actually not my favourite thing to be doing, but let's just say at some point I might want to pick up the UI side of things as well at a deeper level. Do they also provide a grant or support in me going and taking on a further course when it comes to the user interface side of things? Obviously, I would be assessing and seeing what the company vibe is. I've had interviews before and I've gotten most interviews that I've attended. So, those sort of questions, questions that I would ask. So it would just be really more around finding out about what type of support as an individual I could expect within my role and what they would expect to see from me in terms of me growing within that role and within the company. So hopefully you will just say yes, pass, and we can discuss my portfolio a lot deep. I can't talk. I'm just like, my brain has left the building. I'm tired and just stressed. You know what I mean. So we will speak tomorrow and go through my portfolio a bit more. And I will redo certain bits of work because, as you know, it was a big old mess as I stumbled through this course. So have a good evening and I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.